Hi Leo, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I am going to be doing your February 1st to the 15th, 2021 reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and also to subscribe to my channel. And if you would like to be notified whenever I upload new videos, and I upload all the time, just hit the bell notification button. And if you are interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed and linked in the description box below. Before we begin this reading and clear the energy space, a reminder not to engage with anybody in the comment box pretending to be me, asking you if you would like a reading from them, giving you an email address that looks like mine but it isn't mine. Yeah, that is fraud. That is a scammer. So don't engage with them. Okay, that said, now let's clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as you enter into this safe and loving space. Now let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Leo, February 1st to the 15th, 2021, Leo. 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 Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. All right, and now let's see your chakra energy for this time. Leo, February 1st to the 15th, 2021, Leo. February 1st to the 15th, 2021, Leo. February 1st to the 15th, 2021, Leo. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. Ooh, these two. And show me clearly. Okay, these four. I like that. Okay. So you're starting off here with the inner child, the heart chakra. Then we have the I Am Presence, which is my favorite card. This is the Crown Chakra. Then we have Angels and Masters, Angels and Divinity, the Soul Star Chakra. And we have Grounding, the Earth Star Chakra, located 6 inches below your feet. Okay. Now, the left-hand side is your inner self. The middle is your heart, your emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. And we're going to see how the chakra messages intertwine with the tarot messages. So we start off with the Tower, the Knight of Cups. There's a change here around love. The Six of Wands, the Death card. There's a freeing from a heartbreak, a pain, a disappointment, an anger, an upset. No, it's a heartbreak. Okay. We'll get into that more later. I get too excited. Okay. Then we have Justice, Libra energy, time frame September 23rd to October 22nd. The Chariot, Cancer energy, which is June 23rd to July 22nd. You have the air sign, the water sign energy right here, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. So strong Cancer presence within this reading. We have the High Priestess, the Seven of Cups. You're rooted in your dreams and your heart. You have the Seven of Wands. The repeat of the number 7 is saying here, kind of, you're going to be very guided by the truth as you see it. Now, there can be very, very powerful people. Not powerful people. Yeah, it's like people are going to be guided very powerfully by the way that they see their truth. They're going to have very intense beliefs and emotions about things. So the repeat of the number 7 is showing you here to stay in your truth, even when people are trying to sway you one way or another. And it's not being overly stubborn. It's saying, what is my dream? What is my desire? Where is it that I want to be? If people are trying to help you build towards your dream, then listen, even if it's not what you want to hear, because they can come across astoundingly strong. But stay in your truth. That's going to be so important. The Six of Pentacles, you have the repeat of the number 6, which is the most caring, nurturing of numbers. You have the Eight of Cups and the Two of Swords. Okay. Now your chakra energy. Let me put this right here for right now. Okay. So we're starting with the heart chakra, the inner child. Now, there's something here that has triggered the trauma that you have known when you were a child, or the coping mechanisms you came up with as a child to say, okay, now I'm making things safe, now I'm making things secure, or I always wanted my happily ever after, and you thought you found it, and then your heart was broken. It can be that person that perpetuates the wounds that you have within your life. So there are times where we meet wound mates. They're not soulmates, they're wound mates. They're people who will hurt us the way that we're used to being hurt. You know, if your parent, your father always yelled at you, called you stupid, yelled and screamed all the time, you'll find a person who perpetuates that anger. You will also tend to find jobs that perpetuate that anger. And, friends that can perpetuate that anger, that will always make you feel less than. When you're looking at your inner child here, when you're looking at your inner self, the way you grew, the emotions that nurtured you, the way you moved forward in life, there are certain scars that are going to come up, certain pains, certain hurts, certain disappointments. And what's so important during this time is to step back and look at your inner child, and just a quick visualization of holding your arms up to that child and taking that child in your arms, them running to you as little children do, and just holding on to you so tight, that full body hug, that sense of, you'll protect me and I love you. And you whisper to them, you whisper to you, I will always be here for you. I will always love you. I will always protect you. Because when you start to do this to your inner child, you will start to feel a bit of a resistance, because you're thinking, oh, well, that's silly, or that's a lie. But you can also feel a healing coming. You can feel a release of pain, a release of doubt, a release of anger. And you start to see yourself moving towards something greater. And you're going to see those patterns that have been such an integral part of your life, that have broken your heart, that have made you doubt yourself, that have, cautioned your steps, and not in a good way. Those pains and those hurts, they start to be not eliminated. You know that they are there, but they don't rule your life anymore. As you step into your power, as you step into your grace, as you love who you are and who you will be. This leads you to the I am presence. Now, the I am presence is very powerful because it's what grounds us. These are the words that crown us. Crown us. I am strong. I am prosperous. I am powerful. I am abundant. I am worthy of success. I am calling in the wealth. I live in the favor of divinity. I know the favor of the divine. My angels walk with me. I am guided by grace. Or, I'm sad and I am overwhelmed. I am all alone. I failed. I will never get there. I didn't know it was going to be this hard, and I don't know when this pain is going to end. We have our fears, we have our doubts, and people say, Dane, why do you say both? Because when I hear people saying the positive things, I'm like, yeah, that's me, totally positive all the time, absolutely great. And then people say the negative things, if they say the negative things. And I'm like, oh man, I say that, I do that, I think that sometimes. Or, yeah, that sense of feeling worthless, that comes up a lot. So yes, I love myself. Yes, I think I'm great, but I can't think I'm that great. If I can also think, wow, what a mistake. Can't believe you did that again. Messed up, huh? Always do. So here, we look at the I am presence, the presence of thought within ourselves, and we become conscious of it. We don't just let ourselves babble to ourselves. We don't just let our thoughts run rampant. We sit there and we state a truth. We state a healing. We state a power. And we embrace this. We crown ourselves with the love that we need to see and the power that we need within our hearts. And it moves you here to connecting more deeply with your angels and masters, angels and spirit guides, angels and divinity. You are being protected beautifully, powerfully, and profoundly protected as you move forward. There's a light, there's a world, there's a power that's opening up that takes your breath away, that has you seeing things quite differently. And you're going to be sitting there with your soul star chakra, and it's like a healing washing over you. This sense of being wrapped in the wings of your angels, in the arms of your angels, being guided. It's like they're holding an umbrella over you and it's storming, but they're wrapping their wings around you, and they're protecting you with their bodies for yours. And it brings you then to grounding. Now this is the Earth Star Chakra, located 6 inches below your feet. And this is a grounding in your truth, in your power, in your understanding, in your passion. This is the soil that you're planting yourself in, the words that you are planting yourself in, the knowledge that you are planting yourself in, the truth, the seeking that you are planting yourself in. And it becomes very important because you might sit there and say, well, it's okay. That energy isn't that great, but it's fine. It's kind of like, the best way I can equate it, it's like eating food, right? You eat something and it kind of makes your stomach hurt. Or cherries, okay? So for me, Spirit is showing me cherries. For me, when I eat cherries, I like cherries a lot. But when I eat fresh cherries, my mouth goes numb. My tongue really, really, really itches. And I think, oh. And when I was little, like now, I don't eat them. But when I was little, I was like, oh, that's sad. But I'll just eat more. Like, it'll be fine. And that's the type of thing. If your body is showing you, if your spirit is showing you, don't do that. Don't just think, oh, it'll be fine. Because it can get to be really bad. So here, it's looking at things and looking at how it makes your body feel after you've watched something, or after you've, spoken to a person, or after you've done something, or yeah, it's putting yourself out there in some way. And if you don't feel elevated, if you don't feel at least like, yeah, this is part of my path, like maybe I don't like talking to that person, but it makes perfect sense. I see where I'm going. I see where I'm headed. This is part of my power. You need to step back because you're facing here and you're crowned within your inner self with the tower. You've had your world fall apart. And you may sit there and say, Dane, I've had my world fall apart more than once. And that's true. That can be absolutely true. We don't like to think of our lives like that. We want everything to just be safe and cozy and comfortable, and for there to be no pain and no suffering and just joy and happiness. But that's not the way life works, unfortunately. And so here, when we enter into tower times, and if we've had to face a multitude of tower times, that is how the soul elevates. That is how we get to the next level of consciousness and being. That's how we raise our energy vibration. That's how we start to see ourselves, not as a collective like hive mentality, but as an individual with goals and desires and dreams and power and purpose. And so here, your world has fallen apart. Doubts and fears and anger. You might feel astoundingly different from the person that you once were. Now that could be a good thing and that can be a bad thing. There has to be a level of peace that comes with change, a level of understanding that comes with a conquering of the trials and tribulations, the heartbreaks and disappointments that divinity sends our way. Here it is around love, and I feel that astoundingly powerfully. It was just the first thing when I laid out the cards, I was like, oh, this is about a failed relationship. This is about somebody who you loved that just couldn't love you. This is about being a warrior of love and not letting this heartbreak, this pain, this disappointment define you. Not letting it be the first thing that you say. It's like, oh, I'm Leo, I'm divorced. I'm Leo, my boyfriend cheated on me or my girlfriend cheated on me. That type of thing. It's like, I'm Leo and I am stronger than I possibly knew. I faced the fires and I was forged. Divinity pulled the rug out from underneath me, but I stand strong because I am strong. Your card is the strength card. And with the strength card comes the strength not through big, bulgy muscles, but through character, through dignity, through determination. You embrace that strength. And it holds you up. It elevates you to new heights and to new truths. And so here, divinity has pushed you out of your comfort zone. There have been times of tears and doubts and denials. But there's a sense now of moving towards love. Before you were moving towards love in a very different way. You defined it differently. There's going to be a way that love moves forward now that is much more powerful, much more meaningful, and much more beautiful for you. There is a sense here of reclaiming your warrior status, reclaiming your truth, your tenacity, your ability. And it doesn't have to be within a relationship, though that does seem to be the most relatable for people instantaneously. It can also be that, what you've given your life to has been broken. Work isn't the same. Life isn't the same. And it breaks your heart. And you're sitting there and you're like, I just want to fall in love with life. I just want to be able to be prosperous and happy and bountiful. And why? Why is it that I can't even get ahead just a little bit? And so this is a shift. This is a shift. And this is a shift that has you starting to celebrate. Not always the good things, okay? And I know this sounds funny, but it's starting to celebrate the power that is you. It is starting to celebrate the passion, the determination, the fire, the wealth that is you. Because if you don't celebrate you, who will? If you don't see your beauty, who will? And this isn't arrogant celebration. This isn't like, wow, I'm the best person in the whole entire world celebration. This is a celebration of there is power within me. I have stardust running through my veins. The God's head is hidden within me. The answers I seek, they come from within. This is why your I am presence is so powerful. And now here, you call in that rejoicing. You also see how to lead yourself. Very much think of a boss. We've all had those bosses that we love. And we've all had those bosses that we hate, that we want to run away from. You see them walk through the office and you're like, oh, just go away. Here, we have that reaction to ourselves internally. When we're angry at ourselves, it's like, oh, just go away. No, I don't want to be yelled at by my own consciousness anymore. And then we have the times where we build ourselves up, where we're like, wow, that's awesome. I did such a great job. It's time to be that boss. It's time to be that boss that elevates and inspires instead of brings you down. Because you have the death card here. You're not the same person that you were. And there can be mourning about that, most definitely. A lot of times there is when we go through a transformation. We go through this transformation, we're kicked out of our comfort zone. This can lead to astounding awakening. This can lead to power coming into your life in a way that you never anticipated, Leo. A strength, a beauty, a power, an understanding, a walking in your truth, but it also comes with a profound and resounding ending. And so here, as you are moving forward, you're seeing the dying away of the old self, the rebirth of the new. You're seeing yourself walk in a way that maybe you hadn't expected, you didn't think would be possible. And you're going to see yourself being transformed from the person that you were to the person that you are. From the unconscious self. So the self that just existed for baseline pleasure, for happiness, for prestige. And happiness, I mean, partying, fun, everybody being envious of you. And prestige, everybody sitting there and you having everything that everybody else wants, because that's baseline. That is, I can shop at these shops. I can drive this car. I can live in this house. And look at me, look at me, look at me. And that's like the reality TV happiness. Everybody be jealous of me. Just want to be me because I'm so perfect. And then you have the dying away of the old self. You have the dying away of the ego. You have the dying away of the competitive, I can be better than you are. And you have the rebirth into, this is me. It may not be what everybody thinks you should be. It may not be the most popular person in class type of thing, but it is a powerful, beautiful presence. It is who you were born to be, in grace and in glory. And that's what you have been moving towards. That's what divinity has been shaking up your life to move you towards. The power, the beauty, the prosperity of you. And it leads your heart to justice. And your heart here has 3 major arcana cards in your dreams. So your heart is being moved towards your dreams, towards what your soul desires, towards what you need. And the justice comes in, and the justice is also discernment. It's like, listen, step back, look at what it is that you truly want, look at what it is that you truly need. There is going to be a sense here that you want everything to be super, super fair. That's great, but you can't have everything being fair to everyone. Okay, somebody is always going to be disappointed or angry or complaining. And so it's like, be fair to you. Be discerning about the energy that you let into your life. Be discerning about the power that you embrace, about the way that you're moving forward. Embrace balance. Embrace your truth. Because it's bringing you to the place of the Chariot. It's bringing you to moving forward with the Knight of Cups. Excuse me. Moving forward to the passion, the brilliance, the power that is within your heart. That is where you are supposed to be standing. That is what you desire within your life and not being held back. It is the subconscious and the conscious coming together. It is a sense of love guiding you. It is a sense of truth. It's a sense of learning your skill, learning your passion, learning your truth, and not being held back anymore, not being denied. And as you embrace this, you embrace you. As you see this power, and as you see yourself moving forward, and as you start to say, like, wow, I can do this, can't I? You embrace a beautiful, powerful, greater understanding of who it is that you are and who it is that you were born to be. And it moves you then to the High Priestess. It moves you then to the veil being lifted from behind your eyes. Well, from in front of your eyes. And it's like, I can see clearly. I understand. I hear a truth. It's like hearing a call. I hear this truth. I hear this power, and I embrace it. This is where I'm supposed to stand. This is who I'm supposed to be. This is what I'm supposed to love. And you start to see the veil behind other people too. It can be people that you thought were so cool. They just seem to always have it all. They post the greatest posts. They always look like impeccable. And then you start to kind of see the cracks in their world, in themselves. You start to see the disappointment in their lives. You start to see the frustrations that they have. And it's like, oh, wow, it's not just me, right? It's not just me. We tend to think that we're alone in suffering. We're not. The world suffers tremendously. And the individual suffers profoundly until they find a greater part of a whole, a greater part of purpose, a greater connection with divinity. And I know you sit there and you might be saying, Dane, how can divinity help? Like, how can it heal if it's so abstract? It is because it takes us out of the chaos of our own world and has us looking at the greater consciousness, the greater love, the greater good of what we want. And this has us step back into our power, into our truth, into our understanding. And as you open up this door, you are going to start to see that there is more than you realize coming forward. And you're not going to want to be center stage during this time. This is a private and powerful time for you. If you are center stage, Leo, you're going to be handling yourself just a bit differently than everybody else, kind of stepping back a little bit more easily, kind of sitting there and saying, I need my quiet time, I need my space a bit more. And as the veil is lifted, as you start to look at things more truthfully and more honestly, and as you start to have this power coming forward, like this intensity of heart, this intensity of spirit, it leads you to the 7 of Cups. It leads you to your dreams. It leads you to your passions. It leads you to your power. It leads you to what you've put on the back burner. And your heart is saying, bring it forward. Your heart wants you to stop denying you. It doesn't mean that you overindulge. It means that the dreams that we go to as human beings, and we sit there and we say, oh, I'm going here. I'm embracing this because it makes me feel safe. Or, I'm taking this dream out of the closet, sitting with it for a moment because it's my greatest desire. It's my greatest hope. But the idea of bringing it into the conscious world is beautiful, but it's also terrifying. Because what if it rips apart your dreams? What if it takes away your power? And that's not something your heart wants at all. That's not something you want at all. But this is making time for your passion, for yourself. Now, it can be that you do what you love, right? And you don't work a day in your life. Well, even when you do what you love, it can feel like work until you put yourself into that space. Getting there, getting to that point can feel like work. And then when you're in it, everything transcends. But also when you can't find that rhythm, you can get really mad with yourself. Because it's like, I put so much time, I put so much effort, I did this gamble, and everybody told me no, and I said yes to it. And now it's not coming out right. Now I'm stumbling. What the heck? Here, it's embracing your passion. It's embracing your truth. It's knowing you will have brilliant days and you will have not so brilliant days. But that you will let the dream keep on living and keep on growing. And you will nurture that part of your heart that needs to sing, that needs to move. It's kind of like needing to dance, needing to embrace the joy. In the public arena, this is very important. Do not fight every single battle that comes your way. The Seven of Wands is transcending having to fight. Because the first reaction, especially for you, Leo, it's not in a bad way, it's a fire sign thing, is to get fiery, to get passionate. It's like, I'm a warrior, I'm going to take this down. I got this. And so you're going to see people who kind of agree with you, kind of don't agree with you, or who challenge you, and you're going to engage in like, well, this is it, like my way or the highway. That's how people will see it at times, or that's how it will feel. They won't understand that this is such an important part of your dream, that even if somebody questions things just a little bit, it's like, oh my gosh, I've done something wrong. You internalize it. It's personal. It's like, you know what? No, it's just them. That person can be a fool. That person can just be angry for the sake of being angry. Say something hurtful, spiteful, mean, destructive, to try and chip away at the beauty within you, because they know that you've been through tough times. It can be seen. There's a certain way that people carry themselves when they've come out of storms, when they're in storms, and human beings are very perceptive. You can pick up on it. And there are people who just like to poke the hornet's nest. They do. They just like to cause trouble and doubt and fear and anger. Don't fall into their trap. That's going to be astoundingly important for the public arena, in the public arena during this time. Because things aren't always balanced. You might feel like you're working so much harder than everybody else. You're putting in so much more time, so much more effort. Here, things have to be balanced. They have to be just. It comes with a discernment of the heart. It comes with a line, and it says, I will not cross this line. I will not, be taken advantage of. This is what I want. This is what I need. This is the prosperity, the bounty that is being called into my world. And so you're balancing the scales. But there can be a need to vocalize, like, this is okay and this isn't. This is where I need to stand and this is what I don't want. And so as you move forward here, you're going to find that you're balancing things. And balancing for you is going to be, this is like a balancing act time. It's going to be very important. It's like, how many things can you juggle? How much can you hold on to? And you're going to try and do it all. But what you need to do is step back and say, what's important? Prioritize what you need, what you desire, and how you want to be in this time. And kind of set up that impact, that look, that understanding. And it moves you to walking away from what you once thought you would love. There's something here that you're like, no, I can't do this. No, I won't do this. No, I'm not moving forward this way. And you release it and you let it go. And you say, no. And it can be something, it's funny because it can be something that you thought you would love once you got there. You thought like, wow, this would be nirvana. Like this would be perfect. And you find out it's not. It's not what you had envisioned. It's not what you wanted. And so you start to walk away. And you walk then into your truth. Or you walk towards an unknown. But it's like, I can't make something that doesn't fit me anymore. It's kind of like Cinderella's stepsisters. In the original telling of Cinderella, one stepsister cut off the front of her foot. The other stepsister cut off the back of her foot to try and make the slipper fit. And the only time they knew is when, the slipper filled with blood. And here, it's like, don't get to that point. Don't get to that point where the only time you know that it is wrong is when it feels like, I just can't do this anymore. Like you're hemorrhaging this pain, this hurt, this disappointment. It makes you feel like if I have to continue doing this for one more moment, for one more day, it will be too much. Now it is time to walk away. And if it is from a relationship here, because it's a big thing for you, Leo. There is something here where you're moving forward. You're now calling the shots in love. You're sitting there and saying, this is what I want. You're changing the game. You're changing the perspective. And it's no longer thinking that wound mates are soulmates. The people who perpetuate the hurts, the pains, the disappointments, who sit there and say nice things, but only for a little bit of time. And then kind of chip away at you. Say, oh, you're going to wear that. And oh, you're eating that again, huh? Or you're eating that. I thought you were on a diet. That type of thing. Those type of little nasty comments where you say, well, what the heck does that mean? And they're going, why do you always make such a big deal? I'm just trying to help you. Isn't that what you wanted? Mind games, hurts, pains, disappointments. You're done with them. You're done with friends like that. You're done with parents who are like that, who manipulated you and then are, either taking up space in your mind, those manipulations, or trying to come back into your life, or whatever it is that they're doing. You are sitting here and you're like, I'm walking away from this hurt. It doesn't mean that you have to walk away from them. You can be civil, right? But it's like it won't ever be the same, because you're stepping into your power and you're stepping into a place of profound and brilliant might. And it brings you to the Two of Swords. It brings you to walking down a road and to embracing a path that you didn't think was going to be open to you. You thought, well, this was it. Like, this was the road. This was the truth. This is where I needed to be. And, or it was either this way or that way. You could either be this or you could be that. And there was no in between. And now you're finding yourself saying, no, I could be so much more. Or you're finding yourself, reclaiming your power and different roads opening up to you. Pathways that you never thought existed for you start to come your way. And it leads you to being like, wow, I didn't expect this. Okay, let's go deeper. Leo, February 1st to the 15th, 2021, Leo. February 1st to the 15th, 2021, Leo. February 1st to the 15th, 2021, Leo. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. And show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Fantastic. And one bonus card. And now let's see what energy you need to be mindful of during this time. What energy does Leo need to be mindful of? February 1st to the 15th, 2021, Leo. What energy does Leo need to be mindful of? February 1st to the 15th, 2021, Leo. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels. Fantastic. Okay. We start here with the Sagittarius energy. Okay, Temperance card. This is a time frame November 22nd to December 21st. Now the Frailed, I believe I'm saying that right. They could be absolutely butchering it. This is the ether. This is the spiritual world. And this can be a time where you really start to open up to the spiritual world. You really start to open up to what it is that you want and where it is that you want to be spiritually, personally, powerfully. And it can become all-encompassing. It can become absolutely all-encompassing. So this is a time where you have to be very mindful of how you walk forward in it, because you have the High Priestess at your heart. And this can take over your whole entire heart. These can also be people who sit there and say, like, I have the truth, listen to me. And like, part of what they say resonates, and part of what they say doesn't. And instead of saying, take what resonates, leave the rest, be on your journey, they're going to sit there and say, no, it has to be like this. If it's not like this, then you're absolutely wrong. And that's also what you're walking away from during this time, is the sense of controlling, the sense of it has to be like this, or else you've done something wrong. Now you're stepping into a place of kind of taking control of your power and your understanding and your love and your passion. And it leads you to the King of Pentacles. This is prosperity. This can be people who sit there and say, well, I have money and you don't have money, or I have more money than you. This is what makes me powerful. Or I bring home the money, you have to listen to me, type of deal. And this is something that you are absolutely, you're done with it. You're done with people who control over force or over manipulation. Or it's like the boss that sits there and says, well, then I won't say you did a good job. Or then I'm going to give you a bad report and a bad review. And you're going to really find yourself following your voice, because there is this connection to the spiritual world, to this greater power within you. And you're like, no, I'm not going to be held back anymore. I'm not going to be denied. And it's energy to be mindful of, because it can become so encompassing. And when the spiritual world opens up to us, it can make us doubt the way that we've seen things for so long, make us doubt our paths forward. But now you're stepping into this power and this truth. And then you have the Queen of Swords. These are people who use the words against you, who sit there and manipulate things, who sit there and are very cutting, very biting, very, very angry. Okay? You have the Five of Swords, the Strength. This is you coming through, taming dragons. The Five of Wands, the repeat of the number 5, means that things move forward more quickly than you had imagined they would. It also sets you free. You have the Seven of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, and the Hanged Man. The Knight of Wands, this is you coming through as a knight, as a protector of what you desire. The Queen here of Cups. And again, the Six of Wands, this time rooting you in the public arena. Your bonus card is the Queen of Wands. So you go from being a defender to overall, you're being a queen, you're being a ruler. This once again reiterates the fact that you're not going to want to be center stage. The queens are very, very happy being behind the scenes, kind of being the directors instead of being the actors. The Five of Swords, the tower that you have been through and the trauma that you have gone through around love, whether you want to hear it or not, was part of a karmic path, part of an agreement that was made before you came onto this earthly plane. And here, what you are seeing is you're seeing either something come forward, or you're going to find yourself really thinking about this heartbreak, this disappointment. What could I have done differently? Like, how could I have changed this? And what you're going to find here is that this was a path that was meant to be walked. Okay, it was. And you're just so different now because of it. You're breaking a generational curse. You are breaking a DNA pattern. You are breaking a karmic pattern. And you are going to start to see yourself being set free. If you can sit there and look at this hurt, this pain, this disappointment, not with anger, not with resentment, but with a sense of, I'm never going back there. I'm never going back to that. And I am moving forward in love and in honor and in prosperity for me. And that opens up your world. That brings you to this place of strength, to this place of bounty that you get to celebrate. This is the essence of you. This is your heart in your hand as you tame dragons, as you conquer fears, as you conquer and kind of own what has hoarded away your greatest gifts. And now there is a power here. Now there is a brilliance here. And it leads you to the Five of Wands. It leads you to looking at the chaos that is now moving away. The chaos, the anger, the fights for the sake of fighting. It could have been that relationship where, and it doesn't have to be, Spirit is showing it as a romantic relationship, but it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. There was just a lot of passion, a lot of love there. So it could have been a relationship with a family member. It could have been a best friend. And then, oh my gosh, it was just fighting. It was fighting over the littlest things. And now you're taking back your power. You're reclaiming your heart. And you're saying, yes, this wasn't what I wanted, but I need to move forward in my truth. And that brings you to a place of being patient with the prosperity that's moving you forward. As you move towards love, as you embrace your discernment, your judgment, as you, kind of don't act right away, but let divinity guide you. Let the divine guide you forward, in divine timing, not our timing. And then that makes you a student of your prosperity, of your bounty, of your abundance. As the veil is lifted from your eyes, as you open your third eye chakra, as you see what wasn't clear before. And now as you embrace this truth, you become a student of where you want to be, a honer of your skills, a honer of your mind, a forger of your truth. And yes, there are uncomfortable times that come, most definitely. But there are lessons and truths and power that also come. Because we as human beings, we don't tend to learn our best lessons when everything is perfect. We learn our best lessons when everything is hard. And it brings you to the Hanged Man. It brings you to seeing things so differently than everybody else. And that's one of the power of your dreams. That's one of the powers of you. You don't see things the same way. And that's what's going to set you apart. It's not that like, oh, everybody else is wrong and I'm right. It's that you have a vision, you have a truth, and you're working towards that power and that prosperity. At the root of your heart, you're starting to see your dreams differently and how to bring them forward into your day-to-day existence. It leads you to being a defender in the public arena. That's why you're being told here, not to fight every battle, to make sure things are even, because you have this warrior mentality to you. And so it's going to be very easy to fight. It's going to be very hard to step back and say, what is guiding me forward? What is the emotion here? What is the power here? And it leads you then to being a student and to falling in love with the fact that you can only rule yourself, with the fact that there's only one truth within your existence, and that's the truth of your heart and of your soul. And so you're walking away from what has once drowned you, and you're claiming the power of the now, of the present, of your purpose, of what you desire. And as you do so, you're learning how to celebrate yourself, and you are celebrating yourself and saying, this is me. This is where I need to be. And a new path opens up because you're not speaking limitation over your own mind. One of the ways, and I know people sit there and they laugh at The Secret, right? And they say, oh, that's so silly. But one of the ways The Secret is true is that you need to think it first. Because our mind does not know the difference between reality and make-believe. It just doesn't. We don't know that. And so that's a very scary thing, if you think about it. That's why people can imagine something and believe it, just firmly believe it, all right? And so here, there is a sense of having this dream, having this idea, having this ideal, and believing it, letting its power move you forward, letting it guide you towards more. And you start to celebrate your truth, your blessings, your power. And you start to celebrate what it is that you want within your life. And those pathways of positivity, those words of encouragement, that sense of, I know in my heart and in my soul that I am meant for success. That starts to change your inner neurons firing. It starts to change the way that you look at things, the way that you look at yourself. And it brings forward a greater power than you imagined. And that's why you are the queen. That is why you move forward in power and prosperity. That's why you're not afraid to roll up your sleeves, go after what it is that you want, and make that dream happen. You're rising out of the despair of past hurts and pains that happened emotionally, that, kind of wreaked havoc or played havoc in the public arena, made you doubt yourself, made you, kind of change where you live, change, what you're doing, change everything. And now you're starting to see yourself rising out of the doubts and the fears into a place of power, into a place of truth. and saying, this is me, and I've just been reborn. That's powerful. That wasn't what I was expecting, but that is really powerful. Okay, so let's see what your spirit animals have to say. Leo, February 1st to the 15th, 2021, Leo. February 1st to the 15th, 2021, Leo. February 1st to the 15th, 2021, Leo. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels. Fantastic, these three. So we start here with the one that came right side up, which is the dragonfly spirit. And this says, truth transcends illusion. And that's what's going to be happening here. The truth of your heart, the truth of your soul, the truth of your knowing transcends the illusion of the world. It leads you then to the seahorse spirit. Watch and wait. This is not a time for like radical change to happen right away. It is a time that you watch and you wait what unfolds. It's a time to step back and embrace divine timing. It then brings you to the scarab beetle. The magic works through you. Now, the scarab beetle was considered sacred in ancient Egypt. The magic, I always see that as the God's head hidden within us. The magic works within you, through you, with you. Let it shine. Let that God's head shine, and realize that you are part of the divine. Your subconscious spirit animal message is the wasp spirit. Sometimes life stings. Sometimes it is after we go through the most heartbreaking, most terrible things, the stings in life, that the truths come, that the awakening comes, that the power comes, that our lives change. Sometimes life stings, and we don't know why, but it'll make itself clear. It will. It's one of my favorite cards because it's truthful. Life isn't always about things being perfect and happy and, wonderful. Life stings. And sometimes that's very hard to understand, very hard to carry. But it is powerful. It moves you to your subconscious person message, which is the Prince of Pentacles. During this time, as contrary as it is to what you want, slow and steady will win the race. It will bring forward prosperity, and it will bring forward bounty. And then we have your subconscious chakra message, which is forgiveness, the heart chakra. Forgiveness of others, yes, that's important. But forgiveness of yourself for mistakes, for mess-ups, for hurts, for pains. You are not your addictions. You are not your mistakes. You are not your failures. You are meant for so much more than to have yourself living in self-imposed punishment. Forgive and set yourself free. Set your heart free. It moves you to your subconscious tarot message. Which is the Eight of Swords. Subconsciously, you feel trapped. That's why the forgiveness is so important. This is going to be 1,010,000 different ways why not. There's one reason why. Because you deserve it. Because it's your time. And because you weren't meant to live in a nightmare, in punishment for what has gone wrong. You were meant to teach, to learn, to grow, and to overpower and to overcome the darkness. Sometimes, from the most heartbreaking things, comes a spirit that can bring so much light into the world, that can show people a way forward with beauty and with healing and with love. It moves you then to go deeper into the subconscious. 7 of Wands. Do not fight every battle. You will find yourself going up and down and up and down, a waste of energy. Choose what is important to you. Stand in that truth. But don't let others manipulate you through anger and through emotion. All right, Leo. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of your positive energy as you rise out of darkness and as you stand in your truth and leave behind the pain. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Leo.